Hello, everyone. Happy Friday night. I'm going to let you know. Oh, that's a great picture of you in your live stream post. Thank you. Thank you. I'm quite fond of it too. But I didn't wash my hair today and it's been a long day, so I don't look as good tonight as I did in that photo. But that's okay because it's not about looking great, it's about feeling great and putting that energy towards a project. That's what we're going to do tonight. So tonight we are doing our final installment of the Baker Street bag. I'm really excited about this because I'm hopeful that by the time this live stream is over, I'm going to have a beautiful tote bag that I'm sure somebody is going to steal from me. But I'll get to wear it first. So I'm really excited about that. I did do a little bit of homework after the live stream last week. So I've got my handles made. I've got my zipper tab ready to go. I've got all my other pieces, including my gussets. Everything's ready. So we're going to start, but we're going to start with the zipper. And before we do that, I just want to say hey to everybody in the chat. Yes, Shelly Johnson says being comfortable is important when you sew. I couldn't agree anymore. In fact, I almost kind of wish my hair was long enough to put it up in a ponytail, but it's not. I do that on purpose because if my hair is at my shoulders or longer, it's going to go in a ponytail. So the only way I'm going to wear it down is if it's short enough that I can't put it in a ponytail. So that's what I do. Alicia's already saying that she wants the bag. Me. We'll see. We'll see. Lori here is here from Vegas. Hello. She says, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Happy Friday evening. Scrolling back up, it looks like we have some folks here from Minnesota, some from Western Michigan, some from Central Illinois. We've got a few folks in the chat, and I want to give a shout out to the first person that was in the chat. Guess who? Nancy. I thought that would be a little nice thing. I was actually sitting here getting set up when I saw her pop in with a hey y'all. So hey, Nancy, Karen, Vicky, Lenz, Joanna, Kimberly. I could read through the whole list, but you're not here to see me read names. You're here to see me sew and hopefully be inspired by what I'm doing to tackle a project like this for yourself. So why don't we just get right to it? I'm going to go to the 3-camera view. This is going to be my setup for tonight. Now I don't even have to worry about the camera. Everything is all set for me. Now I'm going to let you know 2 things as we get started. Ooh, am I lagging? Is my camera lagging? My camera looks like it's stuttering. Hold on, guys. It's only in that layout. So something is going on with that. Let me see if it's this one. No, it's only this one. Yeah. Okay. So we're not going to use the 3-camera. We're only going to use this one for tonight. And that's fine because honestly, it is what it is. It is what it is. Will you announce next month's project? Yes, Mary, we will. Do you want me to do that now or wait till the end? Let me know. Let me know. And hopefully let me know if the lagging is better now that I'm on this layout. I think it is, but I just want to know. Roseanne says, I love your roses. Thank you. Tomorrow is my wedding anniversary. My husband and I will have been married for 16 years. We will be together for 20 this year. Oh my goodness. Your elbow boo-boo looks like it's getting better. It is. Can you guys let me know in the live chat with the 2-camera, am I lagging? Or is it only with the 3-camera? Just tell me 2 good or 2 no good. Like, I don't know. I see it on my screen. I don't see the lag on my end. Let me just make sure. Yeah, that's good. And I mean, there's probably a half a second, but okay. Better. Okay, better. Happy anniversary. Thank you. Thank you. It will be 20 years that we've been together. It was actually so funny. So thank you, Terry. She said, no lagging, too good. Awesome. Great. We're just going to stick with this tonight. So we're just going to push that buddy out of the way because we don't need him. So it was funny because my sister, not my sister, my daughter was in the kitchen and I was like, do you know what tomorrow is? And she said, yeah, it's yours and Dad's wedding anniversary. Dad already told me. I was like, okay, just curious. And she goes, how long have you been together? And I said, how old are you? And she said, 15. I said, add a year to that. We got married in March of 2009 and had Zoe in October of 2010. So that's how that worked out. It was actually really funny because we got married in March. We bought a house of our own in June, and then we moved into it in November. So it was like boom, boom, boom. And then right around the corner in February 2010, I got pregnant. So it all within the first year of being married, I got pregnant. We bought a house, all the things, all the things. But that's okay. It's actually better, I think, that we got 10 months or a year. No, it was like 11 months before I got pregnant. My friend Dominic and his wife Megan, they're a couple friends of ours. They went on their honeymoon as a couple without a family and came back with a bun in the oven. So so anywho, let's just get to the project. Are you guys ready? I am so ready. Yes, my boo-boo is doing a little bit better. The one over here itches still a bit, so you might see me rubbing it, and I'm doing that because it itches and I don't want to scratch it. That means it's healing, I know, but sometimes it just itches so bad. Also, you're going to see me yawn tonight. It is nothing against you. I am not tired, but for some reason, I'm yawning a lot. And I think that actually is because of some acid reflux that I've been dealing with this week. So it's getting under control, but I'm yawning and wheezing a little bit, and that's all it is. So anyway, all right, let's get to the project. I've got my pattern here, and I have been using my highlighter to highlight the pieces that I have already done. So I have not done that piece, but you can see over here, I don't even know if you can see my highlighter pieces, I have done my zipper tab. So I want to talk to you about how my zipper tab is made. We took a because this sometimes can confuse people. We took a 4" by 2.5" piece of fabric, and I just followed the instructions exactly in the pattern. So the first thing that we did is we folded it in half so that the 2.5" sides met, just like that. And then we opened it up and folded the 2.5" sides each into the center, just like that. And then we kind of folded it in half and pressed it so that everything would stay nice and flat. And then we opened it back up and I folded in each side 1/4 inch and pressed that down, and then we put everything else back together. Now, when I did that side, when I folded in 1/4 inch, I have the pen here. What I actually did, don't hit the iron, is I took my fabric and I lined up my ruler so that 1/4 inch was on the edge of the fabric. It wasn't folded at this point, and I just drew a line of starch right next to the ruler, and that liquid on the fabric actually makes it a little bit easier to fold. So I folded it in using that. I just felt like it's a lot easier than trying to draw the line and fold directly on the line. The liquid always works really well for me. So anyway, my zipper tab is all folded. It is ready to go. I will tell you, it is not absolutely perfect. I do have a little bit butting out right there, but it's enough that I can finagle it back in. So that's why I had it clipped when I started talking about this, because I was trying to keep it lined up so that both edges are tucked in nicely. So we're going to start by putting our zipper panel onto our zipper. So these are our zipper panels. I don't remember what they were cut at, but it's all in the pattern, so you can go grab that. We're going to need 4 pieces altogether and 1 zipper. We're going to follow the pattern instructions and put this together exactly the way that Sarah has laid out. So I'm going to start on page 4 because that's where the first instruction for the zipper panel is. She wants us to place one of the zipper panels in front of me with the right side facing up. With the long edge aligned horizontally, take your zipper, place it right side down, and 1/2 inch in from one short end. So she's saying, get my pen. I'm going to get an air-soluble pen so this will disappear on its own. I am going to mark 1/2 inch in right here because that's where the zipper will need to touch. And I don't have absolutely perfect ends on this just yet, so I'm going to clean it up. What? Yeah, I'm going to clean it up probably about right there because I think that's going to be enough. Let me just make sure and see how big she wants the zipper to be. I don't have that in front of me. She said for the zipper, hold. Oh my goodness, where is the page with the zipper? I got all the cutting instructions right here. Oh, there's my terracotta fabric planter. Ah, here it is. Okay, 12-inch zipper. So in the world of pre-made zippers, that 12 inches measures from the metal stops at either end. So I want 12 inches of usable zipper. So I'm just going to make sure that if I lay it out like this, yep, that's enough. I'm going to cut it right here at the 12 inches. Now these teeth might look like metal, and it might look like, I'm just gonna draw it. It might look like they're metal and I shouldn't cut over them with my rotary cutter, but these are actually nylon. It's a nylon coil, so I can go through that with my needle, with my scissors, with my rotary cutter, whatever I choose. All right, let's get back to what Sarah said to do. We'll take the zipper panel that we had laying right side up. We're going to take our zipper teeth and align it right along this long edge, starting at a 1/2 inch in. And at this point, I'm just going to bring some clips in. If you have some double-sided tape, you could use that. You could use pins if you'd like to. I'm just going to use my Wonder Clips because that's what I have right here. I know I'm going to need a ton of them when I get to the part where I'm putting all the bag together. Free Spirit says, you look pretty and unstressed tonight. I am pretty. I am unstressed. I am going to yawn. I am not tired. I think, you know, it's really rainy out too, and I feel like that always does something with me. All right, now, once this is all together, she says to put your zipper foot on. Ain't nobody got time for that. And then we're going to sew along the long edge of the zipper panel. A half, oh wait, from each short end of the zipper. Wait, whoa. Oh, okay, I see. She wants us to sew a 1/4 inch away from the teeth. Well, I'll probably be a little bit further away. I'm just going to line up the edge of my fabric, my zipper tape, and my zipper with the edge of my foot, and it'll be fine. That's usually what I do. And if I feel like my machine doesn't want to play nicely and break thread, then I just rethread the machine. But I feel like that's always worked out well for me. It does mean that I won't see as much of the pretty zipper tape, but I'm okay with that. Tuesday, well, next week actually, my daughter is on spring break. And so to celebrate spring break, Ian has agreed to house and doggy sit for us. My mother-in-law is with my sister-in-law, so she's not here. And Jason and Zoe and I are going to New York for a couple of nights to celebrate his 50th birthday, because he turned 50 this year, and for us to celebrate our anniversary together. So that's that. Angela says, you're nearly at 60,000 subscribers. Congrats. I know, 60% of the way to my plaque. In fact, I'm less than 100 subscribers. I think I'm like 60 subscribers away, like 61. So if you are watching this and you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? And if you have friends in the other room that haven't subscribed, why are you still sitting here? Go get them. There we go. All right, I have sewn all the way down. I'm going to pull this up and trim my threads. Now, this step is done, so I'm going to highlight the step just so I don't get confused. I normally don't do this when I'm working on a project because I feel like I can handle it okay, but with talking and live streaming and juggling the project, this keeps me on track. Okay. Now we're going to take a second zipper panel with the right side facing me. It should be aligned with the zipper panel that you just sewed, right sides together. And we're going to pin the top edge like this. We are putting it right sides together. So we should have, we should have a piece of fabric that is right side up. our zipper, which is right side down, and then we're going to come in with another zipper panel, and that's going to be right side down. And I'm going to clip this in place. I'm making sure to line up this short edge here. Oh, there will be a massive giveaway for 100,000. Don't you worry. But we got to get there first, so I'm not worrying about that right now. Let's hit 60 first. Let's hit 60 first. Which I feel like is so weird to me to say, let's hit 60,000, because I feel like I just hit 10, and I know I didn't. I know it's been a few years ago, but I remember looking at other channels being like, oh, they got 60,000 views. That's a big, and now that's where I am. And it's so funny because when you're getting, as you're growing up, you know, you look at somebody when you're younger and you see them and they're like 30 years old, and you're like, oh, you're old. And then you get to like 25, you're like, oh, 30 wasn't old. I remember watching the Golden Girls when I was a kid and thinking, oh, those ladies are old. Until fast forward as an adult, and they let it be known in one of the episodes that Rose was 55. That ain't old. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I guess it's all perspective, isn't it? Yeah, my husband and I kind of boycott Golden Girls now. More him than me. So I like to watch shows that have nostalgia for me when I go to sleep. It's just soothing and helps me rest my mind and get some sleep. So one night, I was watching, really listening to the Golden Girls, and he was laying in the bed next to me. And it was the episode where I guess Rose had her birthday or whatever, and she was like 55 or something. And she said it, and like 30 seconds goes by, and I hear Jason just go, screw Golden Girls. Irene says, Becca, you give excellent directions and tips. Thanks. You're welcome. Oh, you guys really like that last video? Yeah, thank you. I liked it too. I was very proud of it. Okay. The next step that I know we're going to do is to fold this piece back over. And I have it's a little weird right here. It's a little longer here than I feel like it ought to be, but up here, it's perfect. And along the sides, is it going to be perfect? Along the long edges? Yeah, it'll be okay. I think it's a little skewed just because maybe I was crooked when I sewed it on, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Because this is going to be caught in the bag. And honestly, I'm not worried about it. I could, at this point, if I wanted to, I could absolutely rip that seam out and redo it. But I know that this is going to be sewn into, these sides will be sewn into the side of the bag, and this piece is going to hang off. And I know that because because I've made these before. So I'm not going to worry about it too much, but I do know that I'm going to need to edge stitch this zipper down right on top of the zipper teeth. So let me just make sure that that's what she tells us to do in the next step. Flip the zipper so that they are wrong sides together. Yep. And press the seam towards the zipper panel. Yep. Fold one short edge of the zipper panel in. Oh, never mind. Let's come back over here and get that little seam ripper out. It's been a while since I've made one of these. I'm glad I didn't just start sewing. I'm glad I looked at the directions, and I would be really glad if I could find a seam ripper. How have I lost all of my seam rippers? All of them, just gone. Ah, found one. Oh, I don't like that one because it's dull. But this one is sharp. Found it. All right, I am going to rip the seams. My sister uses, what are they called, Alicia? You're in the chat, so you can tell us. I think it's called hydro jug tumblers. And she's been bragging about them for a while. So I invested in one. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she lovely? Got my water over there. And that thing keeps ice for decades. I put ice in there last night and it's still clinking around inside of that thing. But it's spill proof, which is nice. I'm having a heck of a daisy getting this zipper because the stitches were way too tight, I think. But once I get it going, it'll be great. There we go. I feel like I just popped a couple of the stitches. Okay. Oh, you know why? Because I am doing the side that was double stitched first, and I should do the side that was single stitched first. It'll make my life a lot easier. There. That's one line of stitching down. And now let's undo this side. Let's unsew this side. There we go. Okay. Get off of my zipper. There we go. Ba-bum, ba-bum. Okay, there's that. And I'm just pulling those little threads out, and I gave it an iron so that that crease has gone away. But you'll notice, because I used an air-soluble pen, my mark is still there, so I still have that as a registration mark. All right, let's look at this one more time to make sure that we sew this the right way. Put your zipper foot on. Okay. Take your zipper panel, 1/2 inch from one short end, and place the long side, right side down, lining up with this. I think taking 2 seams is probably not necessary, so I'm not going to do that. I'd rather spend a little bit of time getting those zipper panels lined up. Okay, then it wants us to sew 1/4 inch away from the zipper teeth, and then on the other side, it says to place a second zipper panel with the right side facing you. Place, okay. Oh, because we're gonna lay it like this. Okay, same thing, same thing. Pin the top edge to the zipper panel, sew directly on top of the stitching that you used to secure the zipper in the previous step. Flip the zipper panel so that they are now wrong sides together, and press the seam towards the zipper panel. Fold one short edge of the zipper panel in 1/4 inch and press. Repeat for the remaining short edge. Fold the long edge of the opposite zipper in 1/4 inch and press. Here's what I don't understand, and maybe you can figure it out. She's got an illustration here that clearly has stitching around at least 3 sides. It's been forever since I've watched this. I know that this is going to be a recessed zipper, and this piece is actually, oh, I know what she's doing. This piece is not going to get sewn into the bag. I think this end does, but what's throwing me for a loop is down here, we can't fold it in if it's stitched. So I feel like I need to mark 1/4 inch on this and then fold that. So I'm just going to mark it with my air-soluble pen, and if I don't need it, then it just goes away. So I'm just going to draw a line on here. I'm going to draw a line over here. That'll at least tell me to stop sewing. Maybe. Okay. I'm going to put all of my layers on top of one another, and I am going to mark 1/4 inch from that raw edge because I'm going to need to fold this in. That'll just tell me where to stop sewing. I'm going to make sure that my short edge is lined up. It is. I'm going to make sure that my long raw edges are lined up. They are. Okay. Let's see if I'm doing this right. I'm looking at the chat just to make sure, because I'm sure somebody will catch me if I'm doing it wrong. All right, we're going to stitch through all of these layers now. Let's see if the vintage singer can handle the layers. What do you think? I think so. Okay, now it wants me to press this under 1/4 inch. I'm just going to finger press that. And I'm going to finger press on this side 1/4 inch. Kind of finagling with it a little bit because the pieces definitely shifted just a few hairs when I was sewing. But I think at the end of the day, we're going to be okay. Okay, we're going to open this back up. We are going to use our iron to press the panels away from the zipper teeth. Here's one. And then here is the other. I'm finger pressing first. And then I am going to put some heat on this. Okay. A little bit of fabric basting glue would help with this either. Ruby can handle it. You're right, Becca, she can. All right, now I'm going to fold these edges in, and this is where it becomes just a little bit finicky. But if you take your time and you're patient, you can get the look that you're supposed to be going for. What you're trying to do is tuck in these raw edges down here on this side so that they line up. But then we want to do the same thing on this long edge. And I know that it's going to be easier to do that once this is stitched down. So I'm just going to take this to my machine and do that top stitch right here along the fold to secure all of this. I am going to back stitch at the start. And then again at the end. Actually, hold up. I feel like this side needs to be folded in too. I'm wondering if all 4 sides were supposed to be folded in. I don't care, we're just fixing it. We're going to fold in these short edges so that they line up just like the other one. And this is where sometimes, honestly, I am such a visual learner. So even the pattern instructions being here with pictures, I still get confused. And so sometimes I actually prefer watching somebody else do it because I'm like, oh, it clicks. Sometimes it doesn't always click when I do it with just the patterning and pictures. Anybody else out there like that, or is it just me? I'm sure you guys are too. Okay, I'm going to try and get those lined up. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm going to open it back up and we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to do it this way. Okay, there we go. Just like this. Okay, get that all laid in there. Nice and tidy. And then across the top, we want to fold that in too. So I am going to, oof. I feel like there's probably a better way to do this zipper tab. I wonder if she's updated the pattern instructions since. Or the zipper panel rather. Okay, I'm going to hold that corner in while I fold in 1/4 of an inch all the way down. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Because let me know in the chat if you've done this before. Because the instructions say flip the zipper panel so that they are wrong sides together. That's what I have. Fold one short edge of the zipper panel in 1/4 of an inch and press. Repeat for the remaining short edge. Then fold the long edge opposite the zipper. Yeah, all 3 sides are supposed to be folded in 1/4 of an inch. Okay. Well, I dropped something. I'm going to draw 1/4 of an inch so that I know what I'm folding. I need to have some form of a registration mark. Okay. I'm going to fold this in and I'm going to clip it. I'm finger creasing just so I don't have to mess with the iron. I'm going to clip all of these down. And then because this is folded in 1/4 of an inch, when I go to do the bottom edge, I can just fold it and make sure that the folded edge is lined up with this. So yeah, I did do that right. I was supposed to fold in the short edge as well as the long edge, both short edges and the long edge. Interesting. How about sew 1/4 of an inch? It does get sewn into the bag, Mona? Are you sure? Because I know this is a recessed zipper, so I can't, I feel like it does. So this piece feels a little finicky to me. But if somebody's made this before, would appreciate your feedback. So Terry has made this bag. Okay, what did she say? I missed the comment. Let's see. What did she say? Gotta hunt for it. I, 301 can handle anything. I see that. Okay, I don't see it. Maybe if you don't fold in 1/4 inch, it will be too wide. I don't know. I'm doing what the instructions say. Anybody who's done it before, Terry specifically, feel free to tell me in the chat if I am doing a step that can be omitted. Ah, gotcha. She said, I'm not paying attention. We're just going to do what the pattern says to do, guys, because it's actually not that difficult. It's just a little finicky. And this isn't how I normally would do a zipper. But again, this is a recessed zipper. Oh, that's why. It's a recessed zipper, you guys. Okay, so the reason why we're folding in the edges, I just remembered this, is because this isn't going to be, the zipper isn't going to be on the top of the bag. It's going to be recessed down in there. And so we need all of those edges to be finished because the raw edges of this are not going to go into the seam for the bag. That's right. It's just been years since I've done this. So, all right, now that that's all done, we'll take it over to the sewing machine. And it says with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance, so edge stitching, sew along those three seams. So we're going to do that. I almost pulled the Juki out for this tonight. I was like, you know what? I'm doing a bag. I should go get the Juki. And then at the last minute, I was like, you know what? The 301 can handle this. And so if I'm going to do this on the 301, like I can do this on the 301 instead of getting the Juki out, pulling her way over here. She's right there. And I was like, if I get to a bulk or something that the 301 can't handle, I can just pop over to the Juki for a second, take the seam I need, and then move on. But I want to see what the Juki can handle, or the Singer. I want to see if my vintage Singer can put this bag together start to finish. That would be great. I'm going to back stitch on these to lock those stitches in. Okay. And then I've got some threads over here. My mom would be proud. I'm clipping them. Oh, there's another one. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing. Look, it's not perfect, but it is sewn. In fact, this side is barely in there. You know what? It's got interfacing on it and it'll be fine. Alicia won't mind, right? She'll take it. She's going to take it from me. She's not going to care if there's a little wonkiness on the zipper panel. We all know she's going to take it from me. All right, let's draw our 1/2 inch seam allowance on this one. And then we're going to line everything up just like we did before. Mama J. Andrea says, Singers are tough. My late husband was a leather worker and he sewed leather with his 301 and it handled it without a problem. Honestly, she handles quite a bit. She's a hefty duty little girl. She doesn't balk at the work that I throw at her. The only thing she can't do is a straight stitch. I'm sorry, a zigzag stitch. She can do all the straight stitches you want. I'm going to put that right there. Okay. Oof, I'm getting a little warm. Start and finish. Oh, Jennifer said too late now, but she said to press in the long edge before you sew them and that might help. Yeah, it might, but I didn't do that, so it's fine. But I am going to take the time before I top stitch that part of the zipper down. I'm going to take time to kind of get, oh, look how pretty that is. I'm going to try to get all of my edges folded in first. So I'm just going to mark 1/4 inch right here. And then I'm going to fold on that line all the way down. I'll put a couple clips on it just to train it and get it to lay over. It is pretty fabric, isn't it? Melody's like, that's such pretty fabric. I know. And it matches the zipper. I'm so excited. And then down here on this end, we're going to fold this in 1/4 inch. Just like that. Oh, nope. Well, you know what? If it's not perfectly lined up with the one on the other side, if this will be the only part of the bag that's wonky, and we're just not going to point it out because the only person that's going to see it is the person that is going to open and close said bag. So if it's a millimeter smaller than the other side, it's fine. It's fine. And then down here, we're going to fold this in just like that. Here we go. I'm going to clip that. I will clip right here. And now I'm going to pull this over. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did before where I fold and get the folded edges to line up. And then I'll clip all of that into place. Oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Dawn says, I use glue to hold the edges in the panels before sewing it, and it helped. That's a great idea. And guess what? I'm almost done, so I'm not going to do it, but I think I would definitely do that next time. Okay. The biggest thing when we're doing this is to make sure that we're getting these raw edges so that when I take my 1/8 of an inch seam allowance away from those folded edges, I am catching the fabric that is folded down in here through both layers so that it stays folded in and it has those pretty finished sides. My brain is sitting here thinking about there's got to be a better way to do this zipper panel. Like, could I sew it inside out, like like you would right sides together, and then flip it out and top stitch? But I don't know how you would get that up again. Like maybe you just do that with the 3 sides. I don't know. Colleen says, hello everyone, fellow bag lady here. Once you construct one, you will be hooked. It is, yeah. And Sarah's patterns are really good. I do like them. But what I really love about them is the video tutorial that goes with it, because I don't do well with written instructions. I do better with visual learning. And so I got to see somebody do what they're talking about in order for it to fully click. And for this one, it's been years since I've done it. Also, if you're going to do bags, you might want to buy stock in Wonder Clips, just saying. Because I feel like that's when my investment in Wonder Clips kind of got a little out of control when I did a couple of bags. Oh, yeah, get that. Damn it. Hold on. I just realized that the fabric here is sewn together, but the zipper shifted and the zipper tape is not in there. So I'm going to rip that last bit of the seam out. I'm not going to take the whole thing apart, just this last 1.5 inches or so, or maybe longer than that, because it looked like it was shifting. You know what? I did just think of a better way to do this. I did. Why don't you fold in all of your sides and then attach the panels to the zipper? Fold them all in, glue base them down, or edge stitch the outside 3 edges. No, I don't think that would work. Well, it would. You would just have to, yeah, you just fold everything in, don't glue baste it, don't sew baste it, and then you could just butt it up against the teeth. Whatever. I'm about over the zipper, I'll tell you that much. I'm about over this zipper. This bag doesn't have to have a zipper, does it? No, it doesn't. Alicia, does your bag have to have a zipper on the top? Yeah, Margot says, I can understand some pattern writers' instructions much better than others. Yep, fold it in before you attach it. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'll rip this whole thing out. This is the way Sarah teaches it. Great. I'm glad for her. I'm going to leave the zipper out of the bag. So we're going to leave the zipper out of the bag, and I'm just going to put the bag together because at the end of the day, I can always go back in and sew in some buttons or some snaps to put a little closure on there. And it's a tote bag. It'll be fine. So we're going to do it without a zipper. I'm making a creative decision because I really want to get to the bag. Okay, creative decision. Here we go. We're going to skip over all the zipper stuff. Sorry for those of you out there that don't want me to do this, but this is what I'm doing. Zipless bags are in style, Shelby said. Yeah, you know why? Because nobody wants to mess with the zipper. I think Alicia leaves the zipper open most of the time anyway, so who cares? All right, we're going to sew the structure of our bag together. We're going to do our inside and then we'll do our outside. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take all of my inside pieces. I'm going to set my outside away and I'm going to take one lining piece. I'm going to find the center of my lining, which I already have here, and the center of my pocket. So this is the gusset and this is the lining side, and I'm going to put these together. This is the center. I've sewn a seam right down in here so that I have pockets. I have 2 pockets on each of these linings. I'm going to line up the center with the center, and I'm going to put a clip. Lady Fair Donna says, I love zippers. Great. You want to come do this one? And says, I don't have enough battery to rip that zip again. I'm not ripping it. We're not ripping it again. We're just going to move on without said zipper. And I think, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like that's what I did in the beginning too. I was like, I ain't doing that zipper. All right, once I have this, the center clipped, I'm going to clip at the corners, just like this, and I'll come around here and clip at this corner. I want to get those raw edges nice and lined up. Becca, your makeup looks so pretty. Oh, thank you, Barbara Jean. Send it to me. I will do it. Not a problem, Terry, but it's going to be done before I hang up. Like this is happening without a zipper. I don't care. It's the zipper panel. I need to go watch Sarah's video. I bet I could get it, but it's just been years and it's kind of hurting my brain how to handle all of those pieces. Okay, so around this corner, we just need to work this in. We need to make sure we're grabbing all of those layers, but not introducing any pleats. So this is going to be a little finicky. We are making a 3D shape out of this edge. And so what I try to do is get my edges lined up and push the body of the fabric underneath itself so that the raw edges are nice and lined up. And then once they are, I clip them together and I try to smooth out any bubbles I might have. Just like that. Then we're going to go do this one. Now we're going to do the same thing. You are almost done with the zipper. Don't quit. I just ripped it all out. Nope. Nope. Not doing it. Not doing it. Too late. Creative decision already made. If I do this again, I will tackle it. But I'll tell you what, like handling stuff that you're not getting while you're in the middle of a live stream isn't always easy. And so for me, if I'm not going to get it, I would rather just move on, let that go, and find another way to do the project than to sit here and get frustrated with it and not be able to show you guys the rest of this. So we're just going to put this together here. I think with the zipper panel, if you follow her instructions and you're just really careful and you're not talking and doing any extra things, you probably would get it. So this is how we have put the gusset on, just like this. It's going to give it its shape. But before I sew it on, I just want to make sure, because again, it's been years since I've done this, that I'm not missing a step. Okay, we did that. No, well, the step I'm missing is the zipper. Oh, shoot. But wait a minute. There is a better way to do this. It's not the finished, beautiful way, but if you look at the picture, so she's got her zipper laid down so that the zipper head is down. It's wrong side up, and she sews it about an inch down on the lining, right on that folded spot that was giving me stress. You know what I could have done? Just left the raw edges tucked into the bag and sewn right along there. So all I really needed to do was edge stitch here and edge stitch here and leave that. It would have left raw edges down inside, but I could, I definitely could have done that. Somebody's asking if you taper the gusset, and actually that's what I was looking for, because I was afraid that I was missing that step. So we're going to take all this off. Sorry, guys. And she shows us how to do the tapered gusset. The tapered gusset is what's going to give it kind of like that bigger part at the bottom and the thinner part up at the top. Let this be a lesson to read instructions first. So she says to take the gusset, it's probably on page 9. Okay, fold the exterior, or wait, both of them got to have the same thing. Make the straps, I did that. Oh, so many pages. Am I doing the exterior before I do the interior? Is that why? Yep, okay, it is. So I just got to fold the exterior panel, fold the panel in half along the short edge, the gusset piece, the side, she's calling it the side panel, but it's the gusset. Fold it in half along the short edge. You'll cut both ends of the panel at the same time on the same line. Mark 9 inches down from the short raw edge. So folding this in half. Just like that. Fold this in half so that those edges line up. Just like that. And now we're going to draw it 9 inches down from the short edge. 9 inches, I'm going to draw a pen line across the whole thing. Oh, Melody, thank you for the tip. I appreciate that. We're going to draw that there. And then she says, on the right edge, make a mark 9 inches down from the short raw edge, and make a mark that is 1 inch from that raw edge. So she means the short edge. So we're going to do I'm going to do a 1 inch up here. I'm just going to do a 1 inch square because I don't know. I think it's from here. Like that. And then I'm going to just draw my little 1 inch box there. And she says to connect them, and it's supposed to be tapered. So I think what I'm going to do, in fact, I know, I'm going to take the ruler. I'm going to put one ruler an inch in from the long edge and the other edge right starting at that point. And I'm not even going to mark and cut. I'm just going to take my rotary cut and do it. Nancy says, I'm feeling your stress. Yeah, right? Okay, that is now tapered. We can discard that. And then we're going to taper this side. Connect the dots. There we go. Okay. Now that this is tapered, we're going to attach it. Same thing that we did before. We're going to clip in the corner. This is going to give it a little bit of that shape. Well, a lot of the shape, really. We're going to clip in the center, matching the center pieces. And then clip in the other outer corner, and then we're going to work in the excess all along. And then once this is done, we'll take it to the sewing machine and use 1/4 of an inch seam allowance, maybe a 1/2 inch, whatever the pattern says, to sew these together. Next month, I think we're going to be working on a couple of things. So somebody had asked, what's the pattern, what's the project for next month? Get a layer cake. Get a layer cake and maybe a couple yards of coordinating fabric, and we're going to figure this out together. I will try to have some form of an idea, but I'm not sure what patterning I want to use. I'm toying with the idea of making something up as I go and then giving you guys the instructions, but it'll probably take me 2 live stream sessions to figure it all out. So we'll see. We'll see. And for those of you that are in the VIP program, don't forget we have a Zoom this Sunday from 2 to 6 o'clock p.m. All of the Zoom link information is on the website. You can log into your account on the website and get that info. And during that time, I'm going to try to make some quilted Easter eggs. I've got a free pattern I found online. Alicia wants to make some, so we're going to make those together. If you want to make that with us, I'll show you how I'm doing it during the first hour of our Zoom call. And then after that, it's just going to be open sew for anybody that just wants to hang out. So come for the demonstration at like 2 o'clock. And then stay for the camaraderie for however long you decide to stay. This does take some easing of the fabric to get it all lined up, but I know it's going to be worth it in the end. Okay, now I'm going to bring this over here. My edge is tapered. Everything is lined up. I'm going to stitch, but I'm going to back stitch at the start and end of this. As I start to get around this corner, this is a curve, so I'm just going to let the feed dogs do what it naturally wants to do. Normally, the sewing machine will the feed dogs will try to curve your fabric if you're not holding it. So I'm going to let it. I'm just going to guide it to help make sure that it stays through all the layers. I know you can't see the sewing machine, but maybe if I go to this, you can. And I do feel like at this point, as long as I haven't sewn the whole bag together, if I want to go back on my own time and struggle with that zipper to figure it out, I still can, and I'll show you why. Because, and I might end up doing that, just full disclosure, because where we're going to sew the zipper in is right, let me go back over here. It's going to be an inch down from here, like centered right here. It's not going to be tucked into the sides. It's actually freestanding. So I feel like I can still do the zipper even after I've put this together. It might be a little bit more finicky, but I have the option to add it if I want to. And truthfully, if I get the zipper made, I can always hand stitch it in without using the machine, and that's fine too. Would it be great? Probably not, but it is an option. But for the sake of the live stream, I just want to move on. I will make a decision about the zipper a little bit later. All right, so I am going to do the other side of the gusset. And then oh, did Katie gave out 10 memberships. Thank you for that. You guys, Katie's going to be on one of the podcast episodes. I don't know when it's airing. Ian has all that information, but you'll want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on the podcast because she joins us and talks all about her Greenland experience there. So if you guys don't know, Katie lives in Greenland, hence Greenland Quilter. So you guys can check that out once the episode drops. There we go. Just trying to ease all of these pleats and bubbles in so that they're evenly distributed. And I know it's hard for you to see. I am so sorry. But it's gonna be lovely. As long as I can catch the edges when I'm taking my seam around here, should be great. I'll go back to that camera because I'm going to sit back while I'm doing this. You'll notice that as I'm doing this, I'm clipping a little bit from each end and working my way towards the center. I did the center here, and then I'm just easing things in along the way on each side of that center. I don't know if you guys do that, but this is the way that I usually ease fabric in. Just a little bit at a time, distributing the bulk as I go. One more clip ought to do her. Now I'll take this over to the sewing machine and we're gonna stitch this. Katie with an E. Oh, Katie with an E did it? Okay, wrong Katie. By the way, Katie from Greenland is still gonna be there. Katie with an E, thank you for the memberships that you gifted. Gosh, I feel like a fool. I love my 301. Listen to her purr. I did not backstitch when I got to the top of that, so I'm just going to lift my presser foot, turn this around, and I'm just going to stitch right back down in that line. It'll have the same effect. And now I'll back off of there. Okay. All right, now we've got a shape. Are you ready? I'm so excited because this is so close to being done, minus the zipper. This is the shape of the bag. And I'm going to turn it right side out so you can see what the shape looks like with the pretty fabric. This is the inside of the bag. So whether or not I leave it this way, we'll see, because when I put this together, one of the components has to be right side out and one of them has to be right side in. Look at that. Isn't she pretty? Now we're going to do the same thing with the other piece. So I'm going to grab my gusset and I'm going to do this on the back side where I have white fabric to mark. I'm going to fold it in half. I'll take my ruler. I'm going to mark 1 inch in. Alicia, this is just like when you make darts for your bowl cozies. What? 1 inch in, and then 9 inches down. Right here. And then we're just going to draw our line, connect our lines, make sure everything's nice and lined up, because this has got a little bit more bulk to it. There we go. Make sure everything is nice and lined up. Start here, go up to there. And cut through. Did I cut it all? Close enough. There we go. Now we're going to line this up and we're going to do the other side. There we go. These are all trash. Here is my tapered gusset for the outside of the bag. And we're going to ease this onto the panels the same way you like the quilting on the gusset. It's the same quilting that I did on the panels. Take a look at this. You can see it better from the back side. Isn't it cute? This is the way I've quilted it, and I did cut it out so that the wolf is going to be nicely featured on both sides. So now we're going to clip the gusset into place, making this a 3-dimensional object, just like we did before. We're going to start up at the top. Well, actually, you should probably start in the middle, but it's fine. Actually, you should start in the middle. Let me find center. Hold on. I'm finding center by folding the pieces in half and just making a crease with my finger, and then I'm matching that crease up with one another. There's one right there. Okay. And then I'm going to clip the other corner. Okay. Now I'm just going to clip all of these edges. No, I'm doing it wrong. Doing it wrong. I need to do right sides together. I'm glad I caught myself. It's been a long day. Need to do right sides together because we need the seam that we are creating to be inside the bag, not on the outside. So we got to do right sides together just like we do with all of our other sewing. And make a seam, put it right sides together, people. All right, there we go. Clip in the middle, right sides together. Did anybody catch that, by the way? Oh, there you go. Now you're saying right sides. Clip the corner. Clip the other corner. Glad I have you guys here to keep me straight. And then we're going to just ease in the side. Look at that. So pretty. Now we're going to do the other side. Everyone was yelling. Sometimes I wonder if you guys show up just to see what I'm going to do wrong. I wouldn't lie. I probably would. Hey, I'm almost done here, so we'll do some Facebook time. We have not done that in a minute. So if you want to share with the world what you've been working on over the past couple months when we haven't done any Facebook time, any show and tell, feel free to go drop a picture in the Facebook group, and at 9:30 my time, so in 18 minutes, we will get to looking at all of that stuff. Whether I'm done or not, we're switching to Facebook. Got it? Got it? Good. Feel like I've said that a couple of times in recent weeks that we were going to do it, and then we didn't, and I want to make sure that I'm honoring what I'm telling you we're going to do. Okay, now I'm going to sew this. It's nice knowing you're human too. In more ways than one, in more ways than one. I'm going to back stitch as I start, and then sew all the way around this edge. This is going to be pretty. Zipper or not, it's going to be lovely. Listen, I have a Louis Vuitton, I say Louis Vuitton because it's a knockoff. I have a Louis Vuitton that don't have no zipper. So it's fine. If Louis Vuitton can do it, then I can too. Get back on the edge there, please. Get back on the edge there, please. Thank you. Thanks for noticing me. Get back on the edge. Okay. There's one half of the outside of our back. Good grief. Oh, I love it. Look at the gusset, guys. Look at that gusset. All right, now we're going to put this panel on. Find center. Clippy, clippy. Right here is where my center is. Find center. Oh, you're right here. You're right there. You were not hiding from me that hard. Yep, there we go. Then line up all those edges. One in the center. Jess at Okla Roots has the best tutorials if you're interested in different designers and bag patterns. I know Jess. Yes, she does. I love her patterns, love her videos, love her content. And I love that she's a Disney addict just like me. She gets to go a bit more than I do, but you know, it's all about, I don't know what I was going to say, but yeah. All right. There we go. There we go. Now I am going to tell you guys that I'm not going to finish constructing this tonight because I want to sleep on the idea of putting the zipper in. And I feel like if I don't sew this together tonight, then I can come back in the morning with a fresh mind, a cup of coffee, tackle the zipper and have it installed. So this is just me moving on and doing the other things that I can do, and then deciding whether or not we're going to leave the zipper out, because I'm really thinking I don't want to, but I need to be able to focus just on it and probably make a practice one before I put it in. So yeah, just full disclosure on that. Like I am not finishing it tonight, but I'm going to get it doggone close. We're going to get the structure put together. We've already got the handles there. We are not going to sew the handles on tonight because the handles are going to go between the bag lining and the bag exterior. And I don't want to put the exterior onto the interior until I get a chance to decide whether or not I'm truly going to omit the zipper. I don't think I want to. I think I want to tackle it. But like I said, I need... I need to drop my Wonder Clip. I really need to have a good night's rest, a fresh cup of coffee, and then get back to that. So, but I will post a picture of it when it's all done on social media, so you can keep your eyes peeled for that. Okay. All right. We'll put one more clip in here for good measure. How do I put pictures in the chat? You don't put them in the chat, you put them in the Facebook group. So if you type !Facebook, you'll get a link to the Facebook group, or Alicia or somebody can drop the link for you. I think Alicia or Mary are both out there, and you can just click on that link. You can't put any pictures, unfortunately, in the YouTube chat. So what I have people do is put it in the Facebook group, and then I go into the Facebook group and I just share my screen so you guys can see what y'all have been working on. I'm smushing these layers down as I go. The 301 is handling this bulk just fine. She's not even wincing at it. The only thing that I'm struggling with a little bit, and this is not a fault of the singer, the edges of this panel aren't fully quilted all around, and I didn't baste around the edges to hold the soft and stable and fabric together. So occasionally my presser foot is getting tucked up underneath the fabric, and so I'm just watching it very closely, and when I see it starting to kind of veer away from the edge and get caught up, I'm stopping and just readjusting. Oh no. Of all the places to lose bobbin chicken. You know what? I don't got time to wind another bobbin. I'll be right back. You can hear me, you just can't see me. But I'll come back with a gusset that's fully sewn on. Why is there blue thread going through here? Who used this last with blue thread? We don't use blue thread. We're going to use the gray thread. Look, it's either wind a bobbin or, you know what, forget it. That machine needs to be rethreaded. So that's going to take a whole minute. We'll just look and see if I've got another bobbin wound here. If not, I'm going to need to wind one anyway. Right about now, I wish I had some pre-wound bobbins for the 301. The bag is fighting me, right? It is fighting me. And I only have like half of a seam to go. I lost bobbin chicken. No. Not fair. Okay. Get up there. Hey. What? There we go. Yep. Anne said, don't be rushed. I won't. Blue must have been Ian. I think it probably was, because we were working on something. Oh, the long arm has to go in for service. We were going to get quilts loaded on the long arm, and I got a backing on there, and I got a quilt top loaded, and I went to start quilting it, and it was skipping stitches. And so I did a few tests, and I'm like, oh, the timing's off, so it's got to go in for service. But he was here when that happened, and he was binding a quilt, I think, so the blue would have been from him. Colleen says, bobbin chicken? I'm not familiar with that phrase. That's where you are sewing along and you lose, you know you're playing dangerous with the bobbin, that it's low and you just keep sewing and then you run out. That's bobbin chicken. And sometimes you win bobbin chicken because you make it through the seam. See? There we go. Now let me just pull up my bobbin and do a stitch on this to make sure it's going to stitch okay. Looks good to me. Let's resume and get back onto there. I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to go probably a couple inches back and stitch over what I already stitched and then pick up. And that'll just lock in what I did before. I will back stitch when I start. And then we're just going to continue going around the shape of the bag. Now this, I'm rushing, so I need to stop because I need to make sure that I get my side, my gusset all lined up. And if I don't do that, then I'm going to be upset with the shape of the bag. So as much as I want to finish this right now and get through it, we're going to take a moment to breathe and clip in this round corner. Make sure that all my pieces are nice and lined up and the bulk is distributed, and then we will resume. Couple minutes of dealing with that now will save me ripping out those stitches and being frustrated with the product later. All right, here we go. This is the outside of my bag, complete with leader and ender attached. We're going to turn it right side out. Jonathan said, you lost bobbin chicken in your binding video and you made me laugh, so I subscribed. Well, I'm glad you laughed at my expense, Jonathan. Oh my goodness. I saw this piece. Let me show you. I saw this piece right here. And I was like, no, I didn't catch the edge. No, there's batting sticking out. Nope, actually not. That's part of the wolf. But right there, there is. I got a little piece of fabric sticking out right here on this side. It must have folded in. So I'm just going to take this side seam. Yep, I can see what happened. Okay, I'm just going to take this side seam in another inch or so. Or not another inch, a few threads. I'm so sorry. Okay. Yep, that's better. Much better. Now it's caught. I don't know. Must have folded up. So this, once it's all put together, is going to be the bag. She's got a wolf here, and it'll be more like this. That'll be the shape of it. She's got a wolf there, and she's got a wolf here. She's got polka dots on the side. And then the handles are polka dots too, to match the sides. So the handles are going to go on either side like that. This is going to be wonderful. And this is going to be the lining on the inside. So I am going to just set it in here so you can get an idea for what the bag looks like. And then I won't go any further because, again, I want to play with the zipper tomorrow. So I'm going to set this down in here to give you an idea of what she looks like. So you can kind of see that's the outside, and then that is going to be the inside. So I'm going to take the straps and then the zipper stuff that I threw away, because we're going to salvage that bad boy. We're going to bring it in here. I'm going to put it all in the bag so I don't lose it. That will be here ready for me to go tomorrow morning. All right, am I right at 9:30? Look at that, right at 9:30. Let's do a little bit of show and tell. So I'm going to grab my mouse. I'm going to go to this screen. Load here. I'm going to refresh the screen to see if we got any posts in here. I noticed Facebook took away the ability to look at the newest posts first. Okay, am I resumed? Am I back? Okay. Am I resumed? Am I back? It said the streaming stopped, but then there was a button to resume. Okay, it looks like it's back. All right, good. All right, so yeah, Facebook took away the ability to sort these by new posts. So I I'm gonna see most recent activity, which is hard because if you've been commenting on a post, it just keeps bringing it back up to the top. So I'll scroll through. We'll see what we see. I might not get everybody because of that, but we'll see what we see. So we're going to start off with Roberta. She says she has a solution for bobbin chicken. You know, I do too. I do the same thing. I do again, guys. Oh, it is buffering really bad, isn't it? The lag is horrible. I don't know if I'll be able to do this. Maybe we just turn off my camera up here, and maybe that will help. Yeah, it's staggering really bad. Don't worry about looking at my, yeah, don't worry about looking at my face. So bobbins, I'll wind a bunch of them and then I'll do a good deep clean on the machine. But I have been meaning to wind for a while and I just keep putting it off. So I've been spending forever squaring up 1,000 plus 1.5 inch half square triangle units so that she can make this modern bear paw. Am I back? Can you hear me now? Let me know. You guys hear me? Do, 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 do. I don't know what's happening. Yes, okay. Listen, we're just going to call it. We're going to call it here because we're having technical difficulties and I have no idea what's going on. I can't share my screen. Cameras are lagging, and at least this way I get to tell you good night. So thank you for hanging out with me. I can see you but can't hear you. You know what? It shows that I'm sending audio. I don't know. We're going to call it quits. This is the universe telling me to get off of here. So I'm going to go get some rest and I'll come back and tackle that zipper in the morning. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Bye, friends.